The new season of Siege was announced a few days ago, and I'm sure some of you have seen some of the changes that are coming in Season 2. Now, I'm going to recap on some of those changes, but I'm also going to detail on some hidden changes that were not mentioned in the patch notes. Now, we're going to check out the barbed wire change, we're going to check out the flashbang change, and we're going to go into detail on some audio changes that are coming as well. Now, I want you to go down into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this season. Is it enough content coming? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So without me talking anymore, let's get started. So we're going to quickly go through the loadouts of these two new recruits. The first one being Striker. His loadout has the M4 assault rifle and the M249 LMG as his primary weapons. And then the secondary weapons, he has a pistol and a shotgun. And then of course the unique ability of the recruit is that they can bring two secondary gadgets. So you can run either a claymore with some flashbangs, or you could have like the EMP impact grenade with the breach charge. Now the same goes for defense. It's the same idea. You have two secondaries that you can use. So you could bring a deployable shield or a C4, and his primary weapons are the M870 shotgun, the commando assault rifle, and then for his secondary weapons he's got the C75 submachine gun and the super shorty shotgun. Now, like I said, you can again combine the two. You could have barbed wire with a deployable shield, or you could run C4 with impacts. I think C4 with impacts would be really strong against like shield operators. You can impact them twice and hit them with the C4. So it is going to be interesting to see the different kind of combinations you can bring with both recruits. And the question I have is like, do you really think that recruit will be played a lot? Because obviously there's other operators that might be more influential than the recruit. But I think for solo queuing, I think the recruits will work really, really well. You can see the example here. I'm using the EMP impact grenade and I'm able to get the wall open myself. I don't have to rely on any randoms. So that's why I really do think that this is such a great operator to use for solo queuing, because obviously trying to rely on relaying information to your teammates to get a wall open, they're not listening and you're getting frustrated. Now you can kind of take your own little plan and take it into effect and use it and help yourself to secure the round and get the win. Now again, the combinations you can use here, like I'm running LMG, I've got the impacts and the breach charge. I could switch it up and have the flashbangs and nades. I could just flash and nade the hell out of the site. So there's just so many different combinations, and I think that's the fun part of the recruits coming next season. The same goes on for defense here. I could have barbed wire with a C4, so I could whip a C4 out and get a pick. And then I know that the barbed wire changes in now as well, so you can hear attackers getting hurt on the barbed wire, which again is another audio cue that you can help in keeping control of the bomb site. But with all that being said, I do feel like, you know, it's a big change for Siege, because obviously the recruit rushing, 5-stack recruit rush was such a big part of the game for so many years. So having that being gone, I've seen a lot of people being upset over that, but I think it's time for a change, and I'm interested to see how this plays out. Moving on to the next major change, and we have the Fenrir nerf, which he's now lost one of his gadgets, and when his gadget is closed, normally it used to be bulletproof, it is no longer bulletproof, so now you can shoot it out. Now the good thing about this is that he still gets the activation back. Before, once it was destroyed and it was activated, you would lose an activation, but you will have that returned to you. But you have lost one activation and you now only have two. The most important thing now with Fenrir is learning where to place these gadgets in order to keep them on the board. You're going to need to look for really good spots to keep them alive and help you in securing the round. Now the next big nerf was with Solus, and she's been absolutely smashed into the ground with this nerf. Her impacts are gone and she can no longer use her gadget in the prep phase. You can see here I'm trying to activate it and I'm getting that red response that I cannot activate it in the prep phase. So you can no longer look for drones, and it gives attackers to be able to now have their pre-placed drones inside the building. You can see here now that I have the proximity mines, they were automatically switched out when the impacts were taken away. And another big change is that the distance you can see on her gadget in the activation phase is now down to 12 meters. Now on top of that, when you have her gadget activated and you close out of her gadget, when you try to go back in before it's recharged, it won't let you do it. And moving on to some of the other changes, we have the flashbang change here. Now normally when you throw a flashbang on the ground, you get blinded by this big white screen, which is really annoying, especially if you're playing like in a dark room. So now you can go into your option settings here, and under the stun VFX you can change it to dark glare. And when you throw your flashbang on the ground, it will now give you a black screen, which I think most people will probably switch to this change. So this is a nice little quality of life update that they've added in. But the next thing is the barbed wire change, the very old school barbed wire that we had back in the day, whereas if you walk through it, you would take damage. So now the way it works is if you walk through it, you'll take 5 HP for every step you take inside the barbed wire. Now, of course, it'll also give audio cues of the attacker getting hurt. So this is a really big change. I don't know how much of an impact it'll have on the season, but it certainly will make some changes. People can't just slowly walk through the barbed wire and push into the site, because you will hear them getting hurt and they'll also be hurt in the process. Now the drone change is also coming in, and it's such a weird one, to be honest with you. The contrast has changed, so when you're on the drone everything looks really colorful, but if someone else is on your drone and you're on looking at it, it goes black and white, so you know that someone is using their drone, which again, I'm kind of confused by this change. I'm not sure what is the necessity of them making this change to the drone, but I guess that's Ubisoft where they find something and they want to just change it for no reason. But this was a strange one for me. Maybe someone in the comment section can let me know as to why they did something like this. But like I said at the start of the video, there is some audio changes coming in as well. They've added some new settings where you can change voiceover presets for either enemies getting hurt or someone saying that they're blinded or they're reloading. So there's a lot of different settings you can choose here, so I would advise you to check this out. Now they did say in the patch notes that all of your audio settings will be reset to default, so make sure you check them when you're starting out at the beginning of the season. Now the next change coming in is the addition of the endless drill, so being able to just jump on and play and run around and shoot dummies for an extended period of time to get yourself warmed up for the beginning of your games. Now I think this is a cool little addition, definitely helpful, so you don't have to be going back to the main menu constantly and restarting it up. You can just run around for as long as you like and just shoot dummies, get yourself ready to jump into games with your friends. The next big change coming, which is the most controversial one, is the addition of the membership program. A lot of people are not happy about this. So this is where you could get like exclusive monthly rewards, battle pass points, alpha packs, etc. for a subscription fee every month. Now the problem with this is that, and they didn't inform a lot of people about this, is that if you do not log into the game during that month, you will not get access to that content. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this membership program. I think we've already had plenty of changes over the years with the year pass and then switching to the premium battle pass. So I think they need to kind of maybe go back to the drawing board with that one and come up with a better option for the long time players, especially the veteran players who've been playing this game for years. So we'll just have to wait and see if there's any changes. So those are just some of the major changes that are coming this season. Now they have also added a standard map filter where you can switch some of the maps out so that when you're playing standard you don't have to play certain maps. And they've also made a couple of small reworks to the Stadium Alpha and Bravo maps, just a couple of doorways moved, some walls added. You can go check them out on those maps. They're really straightforward changes. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I think a lot of people are unhappy with what's been put in this season for new content. And is it enough to keep people playing for the rest of this new season and then waiting all the way for another 3 months? So I would like to hear your thoughts. I was kind of annoyed myself, to be honest, but I'm still looking forward to the new season. And as you can see from this clip here, this is actually against a couple of the devs. So yeah, I got into a spot and I kind of pissed some of them off, I think, by killing them, but it was a lot of fun playing in the capture event. I was very lucky to get out there and play in the new season. Now I want to break down some of the small hidden changes that have been added in, and a couple of strange ones. So this is the first one here. Oregon Showers Hallway for some reason has been made a little more narrow than it was before. Now it's kind of strange because I thought it was like aspect ratio or something else, but it really has been made a lot more narrow, and I don't know the reason for this, but I guess we'll figure it out when we're playing. But I really don't think it makes much of a difference, but it is a change all the same and something to be aware of when you're playing. Now another change that they've made is over on Chalet. A lot of people might know this spot where you can get up on the counter and jump up on the fridge and place like an evil eye up on the wooden beam. Well, they've gotten rid of the fridge and put a coffee machine on the right side, and then they moved those small little coffee machines over onto the left. So there's no longer a way to get up there, place an evil eye, and there was a way to actually get into a spot up on top of the wooden beams. So I would assume that's the reason for the change, really. I don't think it's because you could put the evil eye up there. I think it's because you could vault up on the beams. Now the other small change, which is over on Clubhouse, they've added more kind of like visuals to help you know which is a concrete wall and which is a soft wall by adding these red beams on the ceiling, so you know that okay, that's the concrete part and then that's the soft wall part. So again, such a tiny minor change. Normally we would have a lot more big hidden changes, and there might be a few more that you might discover from playing. Just from my little time of running around the maps, I discovered some of those changes. So like I said, there is those reworks to Stadium as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how this new season plays out. I'm not quite sure how the feedback so far is going to help this season, but I'm still looking forward to playing. I'm always excited to get started in a new season, so I hope you are too. We'll keep playing this game, and hopefully the season 3 might be a bit of an improvement with content wise. So I think I covered a lot of the major stuff coming in this new season. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and we will talk to you in the next video. I should have another video out for you tomorrow, so until the next time, I'll talk to you in the next one.